Madness. Finally, this European tour is over, man. We can get back to normal times next week. The fallouts from Clash in Paris. Becky Lynch and CM Punk, man. Seth Rollins hiding behind his wife. Not surprised at all. But we got another major hint that AJ Lee will be back in the WWE to counter-program AEW. We'll talk about it. AJ Styles failed to capture the Intercontinental title. I know why they didn't, but hearing that reaction tonight, man, it might have been a mistake not to give that man some new hardware. And we finally have the Women's Championship match all set. Who will be the new Women's World Champion? We got a match, and it's happening to counter-program AEW. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Labor Day, and the only place you're getting a cold beverage is at the beer garden, man. And when I walk through those doors on this Monday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw Post Show for September 1st, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, Labor Day Monday, wherever you may be, man. Monday Night Raw, 2 p.m. start time. I did not watch until 3 p.m. And man, I'll tell you, it is quite the viewing experience watching it after it airs. I literally get no commercials. I did not know that. Now, I figured that out last week when Monday Night Raw was also in Europe, and they had a 3 p.m. start time. But it's quite the experience watching it after the show airs, man. You give it at least a half an hour, 45 minutes, and you start from the beginning. You're watching the show without the commercials. So that was quite entertaining. I could breeze through whatever I don't give a shit about. This show was a very good follow-up to Clash in Paris. Now, largely the first hour, in my opinion, was rather unimportant. We got one really good match in that first hour, and that was Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Why do I care about Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee? You don't, and nobody does. The biggest talking point coming into tonight's show was the building upon what they ended the show with on Sunday night at Clash in Paris, and that is Becky Lynch officially joining the Vision. She is now officially a part of Seth Rollins' group, The Vision. We didn't know when the show ended. She tweeted something along the lines of, "We run this place," or "We run this business," hashtag The Vision. And she very blatantly let you know what exactly were her intentions. I think it's a great move. I'll get into that in a little bit. Everybody wanted to know what the follow-up was. Was it going to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins? Was it going to be Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch and CM Punk? In fact, this evening, we got Becky Lynch basically speaking up for both her and Seth Rollins in what I thought was one of the best segments on Monday Night Raw all summer. They theoretically saved some of the best for last. CM Punk and Becky Lynch had a very good face-to-face confrontation tonight that really opened the door even furthermore about the big rumor of AJ Lee coming back to WWE in what could be one of the biggest mixed tag team matches, one of the biggest tag team matches of the modern era, if WWE actually has landed CM Punk's beloved wife, AJ Lee, to make her return. You know, I know a lot of people were disappointed. Some people on social media were disappointed with the way Clash in Paris went off the air. Oh my God, Becky Lynch, blah, blah, blah. People complaining that it was lame. Becky Lynch in the Vision. I don't know why anybody's complaining. I really don't. A lot of people actually had requested this just based off the relationship between Becky and Seth Rollins when this thing got first started. I don't know why anybody would have a problem with that. So basically, WWE is giving you what you want, and you're still fucking complaining. I don't understand it. Like, what else would you have Becky Lynch doing? Hanging around the mid-card with fucking Lyra again? Hanging around the mid-card with who? Natalya? Becky Lynch is too big for the Intercontinental Championship. So now they found a way to not only enhance Becky Lynch and the Intercontinental Championship, but they've also found a way to take a group in the Vision that has been absolutely borderline mediocre up until this point. And that has nothing to do with the talent in the group. Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Bron Breakker. And then you got the Oracle, Paul Heyman. For the amount of talent in that group, it was completely missing the mark, and it was so beyond average. I don't know how more average it could get. So where is the bad by adding Becky Lynch to the Vision? It works out for everybody involved. Becky Lynch being added to the Vision has taken this group from mediocre and average to now I'm more excited about what they're doing here than I have been since the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania when we first got Bron Breakker involved. Some of you might not like Becky Lynch. For Christ's sakes, I wasn't even the biggest Becky Lynch advocate in the beginning of this man run. I thought it was overly forced. I thought it was cringe. I thought she was being jammed down our throats for one reason or another. But then she came back and she returned as a babyface to then ultimately go heel. Intercontinental Championship was put around her We got a very good series of matches with Lyra. And quite honestly, if you guys don't agree with me, I don't really give a fuck. I think Becky Lynch is doing the best work of her career here. I thought the man shit or big time Bex or whatever the fuck you want to go and call her, ever since Nia punched her in the face, man, it has been incredibly forced. I feel for the first time in her career since the beginning stages of NXT, Becky Lynch actually feels genuine. And Becky Lynch is in a role that actually suits her. Now you get Becky Lynch involved with Seth Rollins, and then you add CM Punk to the mix. You're going to get some great fucking television out of it. Another criticism I see about it. Oh, it didn't work the first time. Why would WWE go back and do it now for a second time? The on-screen chemistry between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins didn't work out the first time. Why would WWE even think about pairing them up again? You do realize that WWE, after Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, you do realize that WWE ended up feuding Becky Lynch with fucking Lacey Evans. Do you remember that? I'm not sure many of you were even around during that time. I don't blame you because the television was fucking putrid. You do understand that, right? And in that time, Becky Lynch, I believe, I may be off by a couple of months, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins started seeing each other. They became an item. They were a couple. Vince McMahon looked to expose that, and he looked to exploit that, and he put them on screen when they very much did not want to have their relationship out in the open. They didn't want them being together to be this big thing where everybody was fucking talking about it. They wanted it to be something that was just theirs. So when you say that their on-screen chemistry wasn't there, of course it wasn't there because they didn't want to be in the situation that they were in then because Vince McMahon forced it upon them. But now, everybody knows they're together. Everybody knows they're married. Everybody knows they have a child together. Everybody knows that Seth Rollins and CM Punk is the biggest feud right now in WWE. So why not get the wives involved? Because that's what the next layer of this is. Rollins has made this personal. Now CM Punk is going to make it personal right back. So I don't really understand why people are upset that Becky Lynch has A, joined the Vision, and B, joined Seth Rollins on screen. You already know they're together. So why not have them play off each other on screen on Raw to take what they're doing right now and make it better? I don't understand people. I don't understand why people are upset about that. That's why I'm here to really kind of throw some logic at you and really make you think about what you're getting and understand that it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. Tonight's segment with CM Punk and Becky Lynch was fucking great. Downright fantastic. Did Becky Lynch kind of over-exude herself? Sure. She always does. She's from Dublin. And she gets a little feisty. She gets a little fiery. Did it get a little cringy at points? Sure. But the basis of it, the center of it all, it was great. And we got another major tease, which we'll talk about from CM Punk. Not one, but two of them. Because he then later went to Adam Pearce to go find Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins just briefly crashed the party during the face-to-face with Becky Lynch and CM Punk. He went to go find Seth Rollins. Adam Pearce told him, Punk, that Rollins left the building already. And then he asked Adam Pearce, where's SmackDown? And Adam Pearce said, Chicago. CM Punk then replied, tremendous. Bro, if at this point it's not AJ Lee, man, I would be absolutely fucking floored. Just based off that one line alone. If it's not AJ Lee, WWE has failed. I said this yesterday during the Clash in Paris review, and I'm going to say it again. WWE is not going to advertise a match that they're not going to be able to deliver on. They knew before they even sent Becky Lynch out there what the fucking rumor and what the online talk was going to be. They are not going to get everybody embroiled in this, and then all of a sudden, come September 20th for WrestlePalooza, it ends up being Bayley. Or everybody thinks it's Rhea Ripley. It could be Rhea, but if it is Rhea, why would you put Rhea in that spot to ultimately let everybody fucking down? WWE has an ace in their fucking hole. They got an ace up their sleeve, and it is April Mendez. That's who it is. It's nobody else. It should be nobody else. It can be nobody else, and I don't want it to be anybody else. It is April Mendez, and that is the end of it, period. It needs to be. When she shows up, how she shows up, where she shows up, I don't know. SmackDown, just by the one line from CM Punk asking where SmackDown was, he made SmackDown must-see more so than WWE Creative has in all of 2025, this Friday. SmackDown is in Chicago. Why would he be on Chicago? I don't know. But he lives in Chicago, and if he's going to unveil his secret weapon, there's no better place to do that than from the Windy City. I thought the segment was fucking fantastic. So we will go over that and what they said, break it down right here on tonight's review. We got a main event that saw Jey Uso and LA Knight teaming up together against The Vision, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. And we got the return of Jimmy Uso to Monday Night Raw. And it looks like the Usos will be getting back together. And it is now the right time for that to happen. I thought that was excellent. Another fundamental, very linear main event tonight from WWE that was set up in the opening segment. But Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso being paired together at this stage of the game, it is best for both guys' careers. We will go over that today on the show. And then AJ Styles challenging Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know what AJ did in Paris, France. I don't know what AJ means to the people of France, but it is incredible to see how over he is, man. I mean, he was as over as John Cena was in Paris on Monday night. So we'll go over that. Did WWE drop the ball on crowning a new Intercontinental Champion? Maybe, maybe not. I would have made the decision, but WWE's got their show called Worlds Collide showing up on September 12th, and Dominik is challenging Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. That might have something to do with how long Dominik Mysterio is holding that Intercontinental Championship. We will go over all of that today right here on Off the Script. It is your Monday, September 1st, 2025. Hopefully you guys had a great Labor Day. I was contemplating what time to go live. I watched Raw starting at 3. I ended it at 5:30. I ended up making dinner. I ended up taking a nap. And then I showered and I relaxed. And I said, you know what? 9:30 is the time. Want to keep it as close to normal time as possible. I saw Solid Monster was going live at 8. You know what? I'm going live at 9:30. I thought 6 or 6:30 might have been too early. That's the thing with these European shows, man. When we get them airing live here on the East Coast at 2 or 3 o'clock, I don't know when people are watching. I know the time is fucked up for everybody. You guys are used to watching us at 10 p.m. or 10:30, and having the show happen at 2, it's very difficult to navigate what the best time is. So I said, you know what? As close to the normal time as possible. And a nighttime hangout with you guys is probably what's best for business. So that's the gist of it here on this Monday night. Brand new week of content. If you guys missed last night's Clash in Paris post show, make sure you guys go and check it out. Really, really great discussion. We are over 50,000 views between YouTube and X. Thank you guys very much for all of the support there. For a B-level show, man, pretty good numbers right there. I thought it was a very good show. Go check that out. On top of everything else that you might have missed, I got more great content coming this week. We're live today. We'll be live tomorrow with episode 110 of Tuesday Night Titans. We'll talk all the AJ Lee rumors. We'll talk all of your weekly news and rumors wrapped up into one great show. Best show on Tuesday nights. Best show on the IWC, period. Tuesday Night Titans with the Solid Monster. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go and check out all that I mentioned on the homepage. All the content is there. Leave me a thumbs up. Great way to help us out. Thumbs up and a comment helps us get into the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support, the best way to do that is by becoming a channel member or leaving a super chat. You guys can hit that little dollar icon in the live stream chat and support via the super chats. We will read all of your super chats, questions, comments, and concerns at the end of the show. And tonight, we are sponsored once again by Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. All you guys got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling, and you get a free sample courtesy of the podcast. Monday Night Raw. How did they start? Did they start off with blistering pro wrestling action? Or did they start off with a long-winded 20-minute segment setting up the main event? If you guessed the latter, you are correct. If there's one thing I would change about Monday Night Raw, not every week, but I would start the show off with some really great pro wrestling action, man. I'm just so tired of the show starting off with a promo, and then someone comes out to interrupt the promo, and then whoever they're feuding with comes out to interrupt those two guys, and then we get a long-winded 20-minute promo between all four guys, or two guys, and then the main event is all set. I really wish that they would switch things up a little bit, because it would break up the very, and I mean very basic formula of Monday Night Raw. The show has become very stale as far as the way it flows. So that's what I would do, but I'm just me. I don't know how many people really care about how the show starts or not, but the show definitely feels very samey. Jey Uso made his ring entrance. He did yeet and more yeet and more yeet. The best thing about catching the show an hour after it aired live, I could skip through all this, man. I don't have to watch the fucking yeet and then the redo and then the yeet and everybody fucking waving their fucking hands in the air. I could skip right through it, man. It's beautiful. People wanted to run it back. He said he wasn't going to run it back. He said he wanted to be standing there with the world title belt, but instead he's wrapped in medical tape. He wondered where he would be if he listened to Roman Reigns' advice instead of trying to help him. He said one thing about him everyone knows is he puts his family first, so don't ever put your hands on my family. Roman is laid up in a hospital. Hospital. Vince McMahon is no longer. No more medical facility. Hospital. He called the Vision to the ring. He actually botched Bronson Reed, just like me. He botched Bronson Reed's name. A lot of bronze. The Brons. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. I've stumbled over their names actually quite a few times myself, so it's something that happens regularly, so I don't even blame him. LA Knight came to the ring instead. He walks down, he gets into the ring, face-to-face with Jey Uso. Knight said he believed in himself and that he would be the world champion. Instead, I stand here a loser. He said they both lost the match and Seth Rollins is still the world's heavyweight champion. He said, while some say Jey lives in his cousin's shadow, Seth damn sure lives in the shadow of Becky Lynch. Knight said Jey spoiled the chance to pin Seth multiple times. You don't understand. He goes on to say he is sick and tired of being left lying and not being the world champion. He says if he's having a tough time understanding, he can get him up to speed real quick. He stepped into Jey's face. Jey asked him, "What's up, LA?" At that point, Bronson Reed's music played, and he walked out with Bron Breakker. Knight asked if they could rub enough brain cells together to put together a coherent sentence. Breakker says he's already beaten him twice, so he has enough brain cells to beat him again. He said what everybody should be focused on is Paul Heyman's well-being. He said Roman Reigns put him in the hospital. So fans then started singing Roman Reigns in the very European-style chant that they did all Clash in Paris. Breakker said Roman is in the hospital because they put him there. Breakker says they're dogs off a leash. With Heyman in the hospital, there's no one to tell them what to do. He says they can put Knight and Jey in the hospital next to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Reed said, before I get to you two goons, Paris, France, acknowledge your tribal thief. Puts the one in the air. Fans chanted, fuck you, Bron, son. Fuck you, Bronson. He bragged that they took out Roman because Seth's vision doesn't include him. He told Jey and Knight that they are going to be next. Breakker said Jey and Knight are clearly 100% tonight. Clearly he was being sarcastic because LA Knight got his ass handed to him because he missed that big elbow drop off the top rope through the table in the Fatal 4-Way in the main event at Clash in Paris. And Jey Uso went into Clash in Paris with bruised ribs and came out with more taped ribs. So clearly he was being sarcastic. He suggested a tag team match between the Brons, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Color me shocked. Reed says if they're too banged up or don't have the balls, then they might pass. Knight says he and Jey can deal with their issues another time since he's up for taking on the greasy warthog and cross-eyed halfwit. Jey said he's on board for that. LA Knight then led the crowd in shouting, yeah, and Jey led the crowd shouting, yeet. You know, I would have let Bron Breakker handle more of the promo here instead of Bronson Reed. I just love when Bron Breakker just goes at people and calls them fat slobs and just makes everybody look like stupid idiots. I just love it. Other than that, it was a very formulaic, very basic start to Monday Night Raw. We got whatever happened last night bleeding into this week, and they set up a tag team match in the main event, which was the foundation for a returning Jimmy Uso. So we will talk about that, but really nothing too crazy here to start the show. More of the same. You know, it's getting very repetitive on Monday night, just like it was on Friday night, where we got all the bloodline mingling with the MFTs. And thank God they may be coming to an end with that. Every single week, man, it's somebody, a different cast of characters. Jey Uso versus The Vision. LA Knight versus The Vision. CM Punk versus The Vision. I'm so tired of it, bro. Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker. LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. CM Punk versus Bronson Reed. I mean, I'm just so over it. Every single week, it just lacks creativity. WWE runs the same main event over and over and over again. I don't know how anybody could find this to be exciting and interesting. There's nothing wrong with this segment. It's just very fundamental, very simplistic, very basic WWE. It's WWE at its laziest. It's WWE at its safest. I wish that they would do something to really kind of excite people a little bit more to open these shows. Maybe give us something different to start the show instead of a long-winded 20-minute talking segment. Those are changes that I would definitely institute on Monday Night Raw. They went to ringside. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett after the opening segment. Barrett questions LA Knight and Jey agreeing to the tag team match given their current condition. And Michael Cole said that there were over 23,000 in attendance for Monday Night Raw at the La Défense Arena in Paris, France. Last night, they had close to 31,000. I think it was 30,400 to be exact. So they were a little short of that here tonight on Monday night. Wade Barrett said, let's end the tour in style. And then they broke the news that Monday Night Raw will air live in France on Netflix starting in January. So all the fine folk over in Paris, France, and France all over the country are going to get Monday Night Raw live, local time there on Netflix. So that's a big, big deal there. Michael Cole commented on some clips of Rhea Ripley pinning Roxanne Perez last week on Raw, followed by IYO SKY running out to stop a big post-match double team with Perez and Raquel. The storyline between Raquel, Roxanne, the Judgment Day, her wanting to be Roxanne in the championship match at WrestlePalooza, the situation with Rhea, IYO, Asuka, Kyrie. I'm really enjoying a lot of the women's segments more than I have been on Monday night currently. And I think the Rhea Ripley, IYO SKY segments with the Kabuki Warriors have really been the saving grace of this show. If there's one thing I've been looking forward to a lot on these shows is how the relationship between IYO and Rhea develop, and just seeing Asuka just have a mental breakdown every single week because she feels that IYO is betraying them. IYO doesn't see it that way. IYO wants to be friends with everybody, and Asuka just doesn't want IYO to be friends with Rhea. Again, it's simple storytelling, but it's real life storytelling because everybody at a young age has been involved in a situation like this. You're selling the human emotion of jealousy. So if you felt jealous in any sense of the word, you're going to find some common ground with this storyline. And I really do feel like it's working. It's working very good. So backstage, IYO approached the Kabuki Warriors. She apologized to them about last week. Asuka said it's okay, and their family. They had a brief group hug. Asuka says they'll take care of Judgment Day for IYO. Asuka said, unlike Rhea, we don't need your help. IYO said she wanted to say something about Rhea, but Asuka cut her off and said, no one is ready for the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka left. Kairi assured IYO everything would be okay, and Asuka, like someone who has someone on a leash, called her, and she went running over to Asuka as Asuka went off into the distance. So we got the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. This was a little rough around the edges, man. This was not very good. I've seen better from all these women. This was just an off night for all of these ladies. It started off all right, but then it just kind of broke down into just a very sloppy ending with Roxanne and Asuka. So Asuka and Perez got things started. They locked up. Asuka took control with a side headlock. Roxanne comes back, slapped her before she avoided a big kick from Asuka, slid out of the ring. Perez then tagged in Raquel, who is definitely taking some pointers from The Undertaker and Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash, has told Raquel that she needs to work a bigger style just based off her size. And you can definitely see that she is integrating some of that advice into her work. So she used her strength to lift up Asuka to avoid an Asuka octopus stretch. Kairi tagged in as she's seen Asuka used her speed to leave Rodriguez kind of confused out there. Kairi sent Rodriguez back to the Judgment Day corner. Roxanne comes back in. And we got some nice moves here between Roxanne and Kairi before we got Perez retreating and Rodriguez tagged in briefly again. Perez finally got advantage for her team. She pulled at Sane from the apron, took her out of the ring, and she tossed her into the barricade. Judgment Day went into the break with the control of this tag team match. We come back from the break. Roxanne and Rodriguez are in control. They take over Kairi with some double team moves, a big kick and a Russian leg sweep double team move. Kairi avoided some trouble here from Rodriguez, which gave her an opening to make a hot tag to Asuka. And this is where things kind of broke down in a very sloppy way, which was kind of sad. Roxanne got blasted by Asuka combination blows, kicks, back fists, and punches as she locked in an armbar submission. Rodriguez broke up a hold with an elbow drop before she tagged herself in. Rodriguez smashed Asuka with a big clothesline, which was then followed by a rope-assisted suplex. Raquel tried the Tejana bomb on Asuka, but she got taken out of the ring. I believe at this point, Kairi went outside and did an insane elbow on Rodriguez, which she took a little bit too long to get up there, so it looked a little bit silly for Rodriguez to just be standing there all days as Kairi took her sweet time getting up to the top rope, and she delivered the insane elbow, taking Raquel out of the match. Asuka had the Asuka lock on Roxanne. That was reversed into a pin by Roxanne. Asuka kicked out. Asuka finished the match, and there was a terrible sequence where she went for a spinning heel kick and completely whiffed. She missed completely on Roxanne. So Roxanne had to sell it as if she was really hit by this spinning heel kick. Roxanne went down, and there was some confusion. Asuka wanted to go for a cover. She decided not to go for the cover, and then she picked up Roxanne and applied the Asuka lock, and in the Asuka lock Roxanne tapped out after about 10 seconds, and that was basically it. And the Kabuki Warriors ended up winning the match. So outside of the little botch here at the end and the clunkiness of the beginning portions of this match, it really didn't end up being a good tag team match at the end. So this was very sloppy, and we've seen a lot better from all four women in this match. Kabuki Warriors win, but the sloppy ending really was fucking sloppy. That's all I can really say there. So the Kabuki Warriors win, and the Judgment Day has been defeated here on Monday night. Now, speaking of the women's division, Adam Pearce talked about what would happen to the Women's World Championship after Naomi vacated the championship due to pregnancy. They are going to crown a new Women's World Champion at WrestlePalooza. It will be Stephanie Vaquer against IYO SKY, wrestling for the vacant Women's World Championship in 3 weeks at WrestlePalooza, the first PLE on ESPN. Now, the contract signing, I do believe they announced the contract signing between both of these ladies will take place next week. So that's going to be great. I'm glad logic prevailed. You didn't need to make this really crazy. You didn't need to wrap your brain around this and have a tough time coming up with a solution to what was a very easy problem. Stephanie Vaquer won the Battle Royal in Evolution, or at Evolution. She won that Battle Royal. She became the number one contender. She was supposed to wrestle Naomi, who won her triple threat match at SummerSlam against IYO and Rhea Ripley. The pregnancy got announced before we could get to Clash in Paris. Before we got to Paris, IYO was supposed to get a championship match against Naomi. The pregnancy was announced, and IYO also didn't get her championship opportunity as well. She was guaranteed one. Stephanie was guaranteed one. It would be the best in both ladies' worlds if they just wrestle it out for the women's championship, and that's exactly what they're doing. So we got Stephanie and IYO, WrestlePalooza, 3 weeks. It's the right place to do it. I know WWE hasn't really focused on Stephanie all that much, which is unbelievable to me, but they're saving it for WrestlePalooza, and it should be at WrestlePalooza because that show is going to be a massive, massive deal. And that may be the match of the entire weekend between both shows, because it certainly has the opportunity to do that. I don't blame them for waiting 3 weeks. Who wins? Stephanie hasn't been on the show. She hasn't wrestled on Monday Night Raw now in 5 weeks. She hasn't been a focus on the show at all. She won the Battle Royal, and we haven't seen her on the show since. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who made that decision. I don't know why WWE would not focus upon her. The more she's on TV, the quicker the fans are going to gravitate to Stephanie, and the quicker you're going to have a major star. I don't know how you can build a major star if she's not on fucking television getting minutes on TV. But they're clearly waiting for the right time to unleash Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie should not win the championship. I know there are people that may disagree with that. Stephanie should not win the women's championship. IYO and her story is the one that right now WWE is pushing on television. IYO Asuka. IYO Kabuki Warriors. IYO Rhea. Stephanie doesn't have anything to do with that. Could we see Stephanie win the championship because Asuka interferes and costs IYO the championship? Sure. I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility. I just wouldn't do it that way. I'm going IYO to win the championship because her being the champion revolves around two stories instead of giving Stephanie the championship and you got no direction to go in. You always go with the story. Story, in this particular instance, should win out. And IYO winning the championship for a second time and having two stories surround that championship is the right way to go. Stephanie does not need to win the championship at this point. I said last night she could go and challenge for the Intercontinental Championship between now and the Royal Rumble. But if you want to build Stephanie up, then you build Stephanie up. Giving her a women's championship because everybody adores her and she's the next coming of Rhea Ripley in this division without any television time, I think that is a situation of creative malpractice. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Get her to a point where you know, most of the time you know it's time. You feel it in your heart. You see it play out on television. You see it when you see things kind of materialize on television creatively. It is not Stephanie's time. It is IYO's time. And there's no better woman right now. You know, everybody talks about if you're the best of what you do, then you should be the world champion. I've said that time and time again. Cody Rhodes, he's the world champion. IYO SKY, she should be the world champion. There's no difference. IYO is the best at what she is doing right now. Pound for pound, both man and woman. She is the best in-ring performer in the entire company. So she should absolutely be the champion. And I think WWE, looking ahead, WrestlePalooza, IYO wins. The next PLE is going to be Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. You don't think WWE wants to do IYO and Asuka, or IYO and Rhea rather, IYO and Rhea again in Perth? I mean, that could main event the fucking show, and I'm sure it will. Why wouldn't you want that? And that's where Rhea could get her win back over IYO and get that win that she's been chasing. She's winless against IYO SKY. I mean, you got to see it all playing out for what it is. Stephanie does not make any sense whatsoever. So if you look at this WrestlePalooza card, Stephanie IYO for the Women's World Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. And then you might potentially add, we don't know yet, you might potentially add Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. You want to add Asuka and Rhea Ripley to the card? By all means, add it to the fucking card. You looking at 5 matches like that for WrestlePalooza, man. AEW on Saturday night is finished. This show may be shaping up to be the best WWE show all fucking year. Match for match. There's no way WWE is going to go light on this show. I guarantee you WWE is going to load this shit up to the point where it's going to be fucking coming out. It's going to be matches are going to be coming out of their fucking ears for this show. You may even get an 8th match for this show. Never mind 7, 6. You may get 8 matches for this show. WWE, I have a feeling, is going to load this fucking show up to go just as long as All Out. Because they want to grab every single fucking headline and they want to drown every single aspect of that show out for the duration it airs live on pay-per-view. It's going to be a banger show, man. It's going to be a banger fucking show. So, yes, this is the right move. Stephanie versus IYO is absolutely the right move. Now, they could absolutely add Roxanne. This is the other caveat to this. Roxanne went to Adam Pearce and lobbied that she should be involved in the Women's World Championship match because she beat IYO. I'd love for someone to tell me where Roxanne Perez is telling any lies. She's not. She did beat IYO. Now, Adam Pearce says, well, that has nothing to do with it. You lost tonight. I made the match official. We have the contract signing next week. I don't know what he's planning to do or what Roxanne is planning to do next week. She may end up crashing the contract signing. If they add Roxanne, and this is another caveat on top of a caveat. You know, I know a lot of people are like, well, you can't beat Stephanie. Why not? Stephanie is so incredibly fucking over with every metric. Having her lose to IYO means nothing. It means nothing. WWE and pro wrestling promoters in general have a very difficult time of beating top stars. They wrap their brain around protecting all their top stars all the time, and they can't give anybody a clean loss. There are winners and there are losers. You come back and fight another day and you rebuild through creative writing the loser moving forward on television. There are always ways to write someone in a losing effort to be just as strong, even in loss, or coming out of a loss, writing for them and building them back up to be a winner and getting them some wins. You don't need to be afraid about losing or having someone lose. The only reason why they would add Roxanne Perez to that match is because they want to protect Stephanie Vaquer from a loss. Do we really need to see Roxanne Perez taking pinfall losses just because they don't want to beat Stephanie? How fair is that to Roxanne Perez? I don't get it. In fact, I don't even want a triple threat match. I think the triple threat match is actually going to water down the match and make the match worse. One-on-one is the way it should be, and that's the way I would like it to remain. We don't need Roxanne Perez involved. Roxanne could get the winner. Roxanne could wrestle IYO some point on Monday Night Raw and get a championship rematch. Make that the main event. And have a storyline implication play out coming out of that. Why do we need to muddy up the match that we're getting? One-on-one. Why would you disrupt IYO versus Stephanie one-on-one to throw Roxanne Perez in it to take a fucking obvious loss? It's stupid. I don't understand it. So let's keep it that way. And that's another, those are just caveats I'm thinking about. Roxanne Perez wants a title shot. Maybe they'll add her to the triple threat. Stephanie can't lose. No, it's better to be a one-on-one match. Stephanie loses absolutely nothing losing to IYO SKY. Nothing. Stop being afraid to beat your top stars. Everybody's got to win. Everybody's got to lose. I don't understand the fucking problem around it. CM Punk. He was shown waiting for Seth Rollins backstage with revenge on his mind. He did not want to leave the parking area because it was the only way into the building. He was waiting for Seth Rollins, and he was not leaving until he got his hands on Seth Rollins. Dragon Lee. He went one-on-one with Finn Balor. Lively fucking crowd, man. They were big time into Finn Balor here. They were very into this match. This was a great match. Great TV match here. Dragon Lee is turning out some bangers. I'll tell you that right now. Balor held Lee in a standing armbar submission early. We got some nice chain wrestling between the two. Balor takes down Lee with an elbow right to the jaw, threw him in the corner. Lee fought back, springboard arm drag, big drop kick from the apron. Balor is seated in the corner. Balor comes back with a backbreaker right to the back, right to the spine of Dragon Lee. Balor missed a running strike to the corner. Lee starts fighting back, sent Balor to ringside before he dove over the top rope, which led to a break as he landed on Finn Balor. We go into a commercial break. Show comes back with Balor in a rest hold. He's got a rest hold with Dragon Lee. Lee starts fighting out of the submission, and he starts chopping Balor's chest with some big-time chops. Lee kicked Balor twice. Big sit-out powerbomb. He got a near fall out of it. Really good-looking spot there. Balor was looking for a swinging neckbreaker. Lee countered. This time, it was Balor connecting on a neckbreaker, and he got another near fall. So Dragon Lee heads up top, hits a big diving crossbody on Finn. The Judgment Day is... Well, JD McDonough is out there, and he eventually gets involved here. So after the big diving crossbody, Balor kicks out at a 2. Balor hits Lee with a shotgun dropkick. He was going for the coup de grace. JD McDonough jumped on the apron to interfere. He found himself, in a situation where Dragon Lee took him out. Big Fosbury flop into a Hurricane Rana on the outside by Dragon Lee to JD McDonough. This gave Balor enough time to recover from a tree of woe that he was trapped in, and he gets some offense, delivers coup de grace to Dragon Lee, and that was the 1, 2, 3. Dragon Lee loses again. Finn Balor gets the win. Very good wrestling match. Don't know why we can't start the show off with something like this and then get into the talking, but I'm just me. We got Finn Balor beating Dragon Lee. Really good match. Great crowd. Great atmosphere. Really nothing to follow up on or even talk about because it was as basic could be. IYO SKY was talking with Nikki Bella in the back. I wonder about what. Maybe her terrible match at Clash in Paris with Becky Lynch. They were interrupted by the Kabuki Warriors very rudely. And they offered to be in IYO's corner for her match with Stephanie at WrestlePalooza. Bella didn't seem too enthused with Asuka coming on in. And that was basically all she wrote for the segment. IYO doesn't need any help. Why would IYO need help against Stephanie Vaquer? She's beaten Stephanie. So Asuka and Kyrie interrupted. Asuka yelled at IYO that Nikki is not her friend. So nobody can talk to IYO, huh? Everybody that talks to IYO, Asuka is just completely jealous of Everything that's going on with Io, who Io is standing around with, who Io is talking to, who Io is hanging out with. It's crazy. She said she will help Io beat Stephanie. Sky says, I don't need your help to win. Asuka says she didn't win at SummerSlam on her own and implied that maybe she does need her help. Kairi tried to play peacemaker here. After Asuka left, Asuka yelled for her again like a little puppy dog following her parent. I don't know, man. What's gotten into Asuka, man? Asuka's having a mental breakdown. Sad to see. But I think evil Asuka is the best Asuka. Finn Balor, him and JD McDonough approached Dominik Mysterio. McDonough asked where Dom was during his match. Dom said he was planning, but he was there in spirit. Well, they didn't really need him out there. McDonough took care of it. So why are you asking Dominik to be out there when you were man enough and capable enough of handling it? Seems like they really have this passive-aggressive attitude towards Dominik Mysterio. Or maybe Dominik is just being selfish and he's scheming on his own without letting the Judgment Day know what's going on, which is clearly the case as well. Adam Pearce saw what happened with Balor versus Dragon Lee. So Balor and McDonough are banned from ringside for Dominik's match. Dominik protested that he didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't even out there. I didn't do nothing wrong. Balor smiled and said, you know what? We'll be there in spirit for you as well. Well, now you know why Dominik is conspiring with the Americanos. And I'm not talking about Starbucks coffee. New Day. They teamed with Grayson Waller against Penta and the War Raiders. Now, Paris loved Penta. They loved Penta. We even got Paris doing the war by the War Raiders. We don't even get that here in the United States. So good on Paris, France. We haven't seen that since the days of Black and Gold NXT. I don't know where the War Raiders have been. They haven't been on television in months. I don't even think they've been on television since WrestleMania. Don't know why they're teaming with Penta. This seems to just be rinse and repeat. No direction for Penta. I actually kind of feel sad. I just wish they would have held out to get Penta and Rey Fenix together to battle the New Day. Even at this point, I don't even think it would be interesting if that does indeed happen. I don't know what they're doing with Penta, man. He just seems to be stuck in this mid-card purgatory, and I really hope that they have some sort of plan for him very quickly. He started off hot. He came in like a fucking ball on fire, and they seemingly have cooled him off big time. I don't know why. The New Day has lobbied to get the Canadian Destroyer, the Mexican Destroyer, outlawed. That's the whole basis of this feud. They want to take one of Penta's signature moves away from him, and they want it banned. So they've had people sign petitions to ban the Mexican Destroyer. Some solid Academy Award-winning storytelling here. Penta and Xavier Woods started the match. Penta took advantage with a Hurricane Rana on Xavier before things started to break down here. So we go into a commercial break. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Woods stomped Eric of the Viking Raiders, or the War Raiders. It's their old name. The War Raiders. Eric of the War Raiders. He mocked Penta's strut. Eric caught Woods with a knee to the face before Ivar entered the match. And he looked to have the New Day at his mercy here until Grayson Waller avoided a running hip strike in the corner. Penta got a hot tag. He went to work on Woods and Waller with his signature offense. Penta attempted a Penta driver. Woods countered as Eric tagged in once again. Waller connected on a rolling flatliner on Eric as Kofi headed up top with a crossbody. Penta broke up the count. Things broke down. Woods was isolated with the War Raiders hitting a huge assisted crossbody before Penta got the victory with an assisted Mexican Destroyer as he jumped off one of the War Raiders' backs for the Mexican Destroyer on Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3. And Penta and the War Raiders beats Grayson Waller and The New Day. Where does this go from here? I don't know. The first hour of this show was incredibly unimportant. It went nowhere. No real story between anything here, man. This is channel-changing heat, channel-changing garbage every time The New Day and Grayson Waller are on. Judgment Day was in the first two matches on the show. We got the ladies opening the show, and then we got Balor and Dragon Lee. So Judgment Day was all over this fucking show. They had like 4 or 5 segments on this show. So if anybody that tells you Judgment Day is not one of the more prominent stables even still in the WWE, they're fucking bullshitting you. They are still just as important as they ever were. Really nothing here. The first hour was largely uneventful. Rhea Ripley. She's backstage. She was asked if her friendship with IYO SKY complicates her own championship ambitions, because she definitely wants that world championship. Ripley said she'd do whatever it takes to get back the title and get back into the title hunts before Asuka and Kairi once again interrupted. Asuka accused Rhea Ripley of not being a true friend to IYO SKY. Ripley warned Asuka not to push her, even though she was trying to play nice for IYO's sake. Now, I don't know what Asuka sees. I think IYO and Rhea Ripley do have a very good friendship. And I do think that Rhea does respect IYO SKY, no matter what. So, Asuka then goes on to say she thinks she deserves a title match before even IYO. Ripley said she doesn't know what Asuka's issue is with her, but her desire for a title has nothing to do with her friendship with IYO. Asuka said, "You're not a friend." Ripley told Asuka, "Don't push me." Asuka said, "I will push anyone I want. No one is ready for Asuka. Not even you." Kairi hung around after Asuka left. Asuka yelled once again for IYO, or for Kairi, to run after her and come hither. So Kairi's not even operating on her own. She's being manipulated and yelled at by Asuka as Asuka continues to have a mental breakdown. Like I said, this is one of the better things on WWE television right now, honestly, between both shows. Again, because it's realistic. It's a real human emotion that they're really making the centerpiece of this storyline. Everybody's been through jealousy in one aspect of their life. So this is just a very relatable story. And I always love a storyline that is away from the Women's Championship. Now, the Women's Championship, it isn't something that you can say has a home yet. Nobody has the championship. But I love the fact that this is a middle-of-the-road story, and it doesn't even involve the championship. IYO's going after the championship at WrestlePalooza in 3 weeks. I just love that there are multiple layers to this. It feeds off real human emotion. Rhea is not actively going after the championship. She's looking to get into it with IYO at some point, but Asuka's hanging around. Jealousy. She doesn't want IYO hanging around with someone she doesn't think is a real friend. Again, I really, really like this storyline. I think it's something that is carrying not only Raw, but all of WWE television. AJ Styles. He made his entrance. This was fucking unbelievable. He made his entrance and he got treated like he was the fucking king of France. I don't know what they were chanting, but man, they were partying all night long with AJ Styles, man. They made this guy feel like the biggest fucking star in the entire company. I don't know what he's done. I don't know what he continues to do for France. Does anybody know what they were chanting? What were they chanting? Something phenomenal? I don't know. It was the same chant that they had going on all match with AJ and Cody Rhodes when they were in France, or Lyon, France, for Backlash, when AJ challenged Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Fucking unbelievable atmosphere. His entrance happened. They gave him a fucking Roman Reigns-like ovation. They go to commercial, and they're still just as energetic as they were before the commercial break. So we got 3 minutes of nothing to come back to the same energy that they gave him before the commercial. It was unreal. Unreal. I legitimately laughed my ass off because I said to myself, imagine what AJ Styles is feeling, man. Imagine what's going through his fucking mind and the blood that's flowing through his body, man. He's got to be on top of the fucking world. There's not many wrestlers nowadays, man, that get that type of reaction, man. That's something special right there. So he made his entrance. Crowd was still singing for Styles after the break. Michael Cole says they've been doing it throughout the entire break. It's crazy. Before we got Dominik and AJ for the IC title, Roxanne Perez approached Adam Pearce with Raquel Rodriguez. Perez complained about IYO SKY and Stephanie Vaquer getting a title shot. She said she should be added to the match. Adam Pearce says, well, you just lost a tag team match to the Kabuki Warriors. I'm sorry. In walks Lyra. Pearce says that this was his scheduled appointment. Can you please leave to the Judgment Day? Lyra ends up bickering with Perez. Pearce yelled for them to stop because they were yelling over each other. He told Perez to leave if she ever wanted a title match again. Perez and Rodriguez left. Rodriguez says, we'll be seeing you very soon, she says to Lyra. Pearce then told Lyra, listen, I talked to Bayley. She sounded great. She said some weird things, but she said she'd be back soon. Lyra says, that's it? That's all you got for me? Pearce says, yes, that's all I got for you. She asked for a match against Roxanne or Raquel next week. Pearce says, you know what? I can make that happen. So we're either getting Lyra versus Roxanne or Lyra versus Raquel. I would much rather see Lyra versus Roxanne next week on Monday Night Raw. I know it's not the most exciting match, but they need something for these ladies to do going on with everything else that's going on with the Women's Championship and the Rhea and Kabuki Warrior situation with IYO. These ladies got to find something to do, so why not pair them together? It's going to be interesting to see when Bayley gets back what she's going to do. I don't know where she's actually going to fit in. Is she going to go after Lyra? Is she going to come back as a heel? Is it going to be babyface and then heel? Is she going to SmackDown? I'd move Bayley over to SmackDown, to be quite honest with you. I think that's the best move to make here. Intercontinental Championship. Dominik Mysterio, AJ Styles. This should have absolutely taken place on the PLE. And I feel like WWE gave us the wrong Intercontinental Championship match. They gave us Becky versus Nikki. It should have been Dominik versus AJ at the pay-per-view. Dominik hits a sneak attack on AJ during the ring announcer's introduction. He looked to get the early advantage here on AJ. Styles fought back with a dropkick, followed by a big forearm over the top rope. Onto Dominik at ringside. We go into another commercial break. Raw comes back from the break as Dominik and AJ mix it up in the corner. Dominik hits a springboard Hurricanrana on AJ. Dominik maintains control. Starts stomping away at AJ in the corner. AJ starts coming back, sliding forearm, followed by his signature Ushigoroshi. The only one that calls that move by its actual name, by its actual move name, is Corey Graves. Morrow used to do it all the time, but everybody just calls it a backbreaker or a neck breaker. He gets a near fall of the Ushigoroshi. Styles propped up Dominik for an attempt at a Styles clash, but that got countered. Dominik reversed a Styles phenomenal forearm before he threw him out of the ring with a Hurricanrana from the apron. Baseball slide from Dominik. Styles caught him, threw him into the French commentary table with a big power bomb. He bounces off the table and falls to the mat outside. We come back to the match. Styles is looking for another Styles clash in the ring. Dominik reversed it into what Michael Cole called it, the Mullet-O-Matic. He did a version of the Edge-O-Matic. 2 count off this Mullet-O-Matic. Styles countered a Dominik Mysterio suplex and delivered one of his own, and he's back in the corner. Dominik, through Styles, shoulder first into the ring post, made a ridiculous sound effect as he delivered a Michinoku driver to follow up for a near fall. Dominik successfully hits 3 amigos, followed by a frog splash. Styles kicked out again out of 2. Styles comes back. He connects with a Styles clash. Dominik managed to get a foot on the rope. I don't understand why these veterans hit their finishing move near the ropes and they don't pull their opponent away from the ropes to not allow their opponent to get their foot on the rope to break the hold. Everybody does it. You would think that AJ Styles, being the veteran presence that he is, would hit the Styles clash and move his opponent to the middle of the ring so that he doesn't get his foot on the rope. Nobody ever makes this move. I don't understand it. So Dominik got his foot on the rope. Styles looked for the phenomenal forearm, and at this point, El Grande Americano, he shows up. He appears from underneath the ring. He grabbed AJ's foot. He tripped him up. He puts the loaded mask in play. He puts that steel plate underneath his mask, and he headbutted him in the chest. He didn't even headbutt him in the fucking head. Not in the face, not in the facial region. Right on the chest cavity. Somehow AJ was knocked out by this. You would think he got hit in the fucking head. He didn't. Americano hit Styles with a loaded headbutt to the chest. This allowed Dominik to go up top, hit a frog splash, 1, 2, 3, and Dominik Mysterio is still the Intercontinental Champion. This match should have taken place at the pay-per-view. It would have been a lot better. The pay-per-view or PLE overall would have been a lot better with this match added instead of the awful Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch match that we shouldn't have gotten. That should have been reserved for tonight, and this match should have been on last night. You know, it's easy to say, and I said this on social media, with the reaction that AJ got in France, it's easy to say AJ should have won the Intercontinental Championship. They should have did the title switch. Thinking about it and looking back at it, had a few hours obviously before I went live tonight, thinking back at it, you know, sometimes we as fans, we think with our emotions first and foremost. Now, we all know WWE loves a moment. They gave Sami Zayn the fucking United States Championship in Lyon, France on Friday. They went for a moment. They ended the show. They gave you a moment. They send the crowd home happy. And Sami Zayn's now one step from being a Grand Slam champion in WWE as he's the new United States champion. They could have did the same thing here. AJ was much more over than Sami Zayn was in Lyon. Tonight in Paris. The optics of it look ridiculous. Like, you look at it and say, they didn't put the title on this fucking guy after all this time? The thing is, Sami Zayn's not wrestling the AAA Mega Champion at Worlds Collide on September 12th. That's the reason why AJ Styles is not the Intercontinental Champion right now. The optics of it would have been great. The optics looking at it now look stupid. If you're a fan, the optics of it for WWE are very logical. Dominik Mysterio is challenging AAA's World Champion. They don't want him losing before they challenge or put that match together, and he challenges Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. It's one thing that we all want AJ as the Intercontinental Champion. I think that's a testament to what we still feel for AJ Styles. But looking at it, if Dominik is going into a match with Vikingo in a losing effort here tonight against AJ, that doesn't really make him a credible threat to Vikingo and the AAA Mega Championship. So the reason why AJ did not win is because Dominik is in a bigger match on September 12th in Las Vegas for Worlds Collide. I hope, and I seriously hope, WWE opts to give AAA Championship to Dominik, and he becomes the Mega Champion, and then at that point, he captures a bigger championship and gives up the Intercontinental Championship to AJ. So hopefully when he wins the AAA Mega Championship, AJ can beat Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. That's just the way that I see it. I know it sounds stupid to some, and I know you probably would have crowned him here with the moment and the crowd and the energy and the environment and the singing and the chanting, but I'm just thinking the way WWE is thinking. And that's the only thing I could come up with. And that's probably the reason why they didn't do the title switch tonight. I get it. I wanted to see it happen too. I don't really see what the big deal is if they have some bullshit happen and they book it in a way where Dominik is protected. Why not give AJ the title? I don't know. The only thing I could come up with is that Dominik is challenging for the AAA Mega Championship, and they didn't want him going into Worlds Collide losing before he wrestles Vikingo. Rhea Ripley and CM Punk were shown chatting with one another before Adam Pearce told Punk that Seth Rollins, he's already in the building. Punk said, what? How did he get in the building? Adam Pearce says he didn't know. He didn't know how he got in the building, and he's here, so if you want to go find him, go find him. He's in the building, though. So CM Punk wasted all this time looking for Seth Rollins, and he walks out to ringside. He gets in the ring, and he is now going to hijack the show. So he's going to hijack the show, and he's going to wait for Seth Rollins in the ring, and he's not leaving until he gets Seth Rollins. So he comes on out. People are singing his song. He says he's hijacking the show until Seth shows up so they can deal with each other man to man. He said he'd let the fans sing to him as long as it takes. Instead, Seth Rollins' music hits, and Becky comes on out instead of Seth. And legitimately, move for move, she did Seth Rollins' entrance and pose perfectly. It's amazing that she got his pose and his walk and his everything down perfectly. So Becky comes out to the ring. She enters the ring. Punk is mad that it's not Seth, but instead it's his wife. Punk said this has nothing to do with you unless you can get on your phone and give Seth a ring and tell him to get out here. Becky said, how dare you? She said, it has everything to do with me. She said, your actions have affected my family. Punk says he sees where this is going and he does not want any part of it. She insisted Punk stay around and listen to what she has to say. She said she's had to listen to him tell lies about her husband and berate the father of her child. She said Seth is the greatest man she's ever known. Punk then reiterated, your husband's a coward. You just feel the personal feeling in this when Punk said, your husband's a coward. Becky said Seth has sacrificed more for this company, for this business, more than you will ever know. She says he is hot. He is jacked. Punk also said that Becky is delusional. Punk says he doesn't want to listen to her anymore. He says he wanted to punch Seth's teeth down his throat. Becky then comes back and says it was Punk's name that they, the crowd, were chanting during her matches 10 years ago, which indicated that they did not care about the hard work she was putting in at the time. We got a loud CM Punk chant, obviously, in Paris, because what else would happen when Becky complains that they chanted Punk's name for 10 years? We get a rightful CM Punk chant in Paris to Becky Lynch. She goes on to say that CM Punk is the poster child for apathy. She raged against the fans and then went into Seth's catchphrases. Crowd said it along with her. Seth freaking Rollins. She then said she's the greatest woman wrestler. And she's got backup in that, too, because Sports Illustrated said so. She loves saying that. She said she should leave the ring, or he should leave the ring, Punk. He should leave the ring. And she wished him the best in his future endeavors. You don't fit the vision, she said. Punk said that sounded good, but the vision is blurry. He asked if she really is holding a beef over 10 years because they chanted his name during her matches. He said people chant his name whether he is champion or not, whether he is there in front of 30,000 maniacs with Paris saying it. He says he's been on the European tour, and you know who I haven't seen on the European tour? I haven't seen you or your husband with your plastic belts. He said Seth hides behind his title and Paul Heyman. He hides behind Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. And now he hides behind his wife. Punk said she is more than just someone's wife. He said she has talent, but she lacks tastes in men, and she married a bum. He said Seth is a paper champion, and their issues will never be resolved. So to no theme music. I love this. The fact that he walked out to no theme music. We should see more of this in every promotion. The sound of boos is so much greater than the fans singing along to his fucking theme song. Seth Rollins walked out on stage, taking his sweet-ass time. No theme music. He told Punk, fans sang his song anyway, but there was no actual music playing. He told Punk to say what he has to say to his face on the stage, and he's kind of teasing him to come onto the stage. Punk tried to make a move, Becky blocked him. Punk made another move, Becky blocked him. He made another move, Becky blocked him. Becky blocked him 3 different times, and by the time that Punk evaded Becky Lynch and had a clear shot to exit the ring, Rollins had already turned and left. Mind games. So Punk turns back to Becky Lynch, and Becky is slapping CM Punk in the face over and over and over and over and over again. Punk absorbed it. He walked towards her. She's poking him in the chest, daring him to do something about it. What are you going to do about it? You can't do shit. You aren't going to do anything to me. She starts calling Punk pathetic. He then raises the microphone and looks her dead in the face and says, I'm going to make Seth regret ever cashing in on me, and I'm going to make you regret for ever putting your hands on me. I already do, she said. She complained about getting his sweat all over her hand. She said she already had to throw out her hoodie because it had his gross ball sweat on it from the low blow last night at Clash in Paris. She asked the fans if they have a song to sing for this. So she did the na na na, hey, 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 goodbye, and nobody sang along with her. Fans booed her as Punk marched to the back. She said, you'll never be champion. She told him to keep walking and never come back. This was a great fucking segment. This was a great segment. You saw CM Punk angry, but not steaming angry, not volatile CM Punk. He wanted to legitimately beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. He waited for him. He was in a calm but angry demeanor. Becky Lynch comes out. He knew exactly where this was going, and he didn't want any part of it, but he listened and he played the game that Becky wanted to play. Fine. She explains herself. She got involved. Punk knows that Rollins is hiding behind his wife because he's a bitch and he's a pussy and he's a coward. I get it. It's great. It's just classic heel shit. Don't know why anybody would complain. It's just typical heel shit. But Punk, you see Punk's demeanor change from not wanting to say anything bad about Becky or to Becky because it's not Becky's fault that Rollins is a bitch. Becky's throwing herself into this unwarranted. She's doing this because she loves her husband. She's doing this because she's backing up and defending her husband. Whether Rollins asked her to do it or not, fine. But Punk knows that Becky is not the problem. Seth Rollins is the problem. But Becky is so good at what she does that she got under CM Punk's skin by giving the explanation of, they chanted your name during my matches for 10 years. Why are we still harping on that? And CM Punk, his demeanor got angrier and angrier and angrier at Becky Lynch, and she made him get angry, not only with Seth, but with her now. And Becky knows that Punk is not going to lay a fucking hand on her at all. So she got him to a point where he should have honestly came out the way he felt at the end of this promo. He should have came out feeling that way from the beginning. But Becky really pushed his fucking buttons. And I really love the little nuances and the little attention to detail and the human characteristics of CM Punk coming out, wanting revenge and wanting to hurt Rollins, but he's not really fucking angry. He doesn't have the steam coming out of his ears. He's not cutting a fucking rage-filled promo and going off on everybody and cutting a pipe bomb. He wants to just fight. And Becky brought him to a point of wanting to fight, but now you poke the bear, and I got to do something that's nobody's going to like. I thought the way that it built and the way that it started, the way that it built and the way that it ended, I thought it was fucking brilliant. Becky Lynch being in the Vision is fucking brilliant. It is going to work wonders for this group. I hope that they can maintain genuine heat. I hope that it doesn't steer off into cringe and forced. And I hope it remains genuine and they get genuine heel heat and they're a power couple and you want to physically see them get hurt and you want to see them lose for all the right reasons. And I hope that it doesn't deviate into a way where you want to see them lose because you can't stand them being on television. That's the one thing I hope we don't get and we don't have happen. A lot of fans are concerned that this didn't work the first time. Why is this going to work now? Why is WWE venturing down this path where it didn't work the first time? I said it in the beginning, and if you're just joining me now, I'm going to reiterate it again for you guys just joining me now. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins were just in the beginning stages of their relationship. They had just gone public with it. They didn't want anybody really kind of embellishing on that. They didn't want people piling on. They wanted to remain, hey, we're together, we're an item, we're seeing each other. Leave it at that. Typical man and female behavior, okay? Vince took that and wanted to exploit it on television. I don't know why. It wasn't needed. It didn't need to happen. Becky Lynch came out of beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and the first fucking thing that we see is Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans for the fucking championship. Don't know why we got Seth Rollins involved, and we ended up getting a mixed tag team match with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin. I don't know what the fuck the basis of that was. Don't know why it ever happened. I don't even know how the fuck we got there. Vince exploited it. Their on-screen chemistry then was that of a new couple who did not want to really put their relationship first and foremost and have everybody talking about that instead of what they're doing on screen individually as superstars. Vince exploited that for whatever fucking reason, and they felt uncomfortable with it. You saw that in their body language, and you saw that they didn't really want to go through with it. Now it's a different story. They're married. Everybody knows they're married. Nobody cares anymore. They have a child together. Seeing them on screen with this story, with this angle, with their relationship now and the power couple that they have materialized into, everything is working the way that it should be. You're not going to get any of that tension, that weird, just kind of stiff tension. You're going to get a couple that is going to work brilliantly together. They're going to feed off each other in the best possible ways. And it's going to be the reason why we get AJ Lee back on television. Nobody, and I mean nobody, works in this spot but April Mendez. Nobody. Not Bayley. Not Rhea. Not someone from NXT. Them going out and getting Cora Jade or anybody else. It's not going to work. WWE is not going to sell you on a match that they're not going to deliver on. You don't know WWE. When they want to destroy, they will go above and beyond to make sure that you leave, and you leave all out not remembering a fucking thing. That's what they want. They want to maim AEW. And there's no better way to do that than with CM Punk, still their biggest superstar, and his wife coming back for this moment, head-to-head with AEW. Their biggest star even still, CM Punk, AEW's biggest star, CM Punk. and his wife now coming out of retirement after 10 plus years to wrestle Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Head to head with AEW, first ESPN show. They're making this into a big fucking deal. If it is anybody but April Mendez, it is a huge fucking letdown, and nobody is going to care. Nobody will be talking about it. It doesn't matter. It is AJ Lee or bust. WWE is stacking the cards against AEW All Out. April Mendez returns, teams with her husband against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. WrestlePalooza, the ECW theme that they revitalized because Tony Khan's an ECW mark on the same day as All Out, on the same night that Brock Lesnar wrestles his first match in 2.5 years against John Cena. ESPN. Any more questions? WWE has gone above and beyond petty. WWE is going above and beyond to make this show the best show, top to bottom, card-wise, that they could possibly do all year. I'm glad AEW has driven them to show their best face. So if you're an AEW fan, I want you to think about this long and hard. You're not giving a shit about WrestlePalooza. You don't care about WrestlePalooza. If you're watching All Out, more than likely, you've made a determination to buy All Out. You're not going to watch WrestlePalooza. You'll catch up with WrestlePalooza via clips and YouTube and social media. You don't care. If you're in with AEW, you're not going to bother watching WWE. The thing is, and this is where the AEW sickos should feel good. You've driven WWE to show their best face, to put their best foot forward. For all of 2025, they have been fucking lazy. Their creative has been dog shit. AEW's creative has been dog shit too. Let's be honest. They have awful creative. Their shows have been terrible from top to bottom for most of 2025, just like WWE. You don't escape that. Tony Khan is not Booker of the Year. Neither is Triple H. And if I'm taking Triple H as Booker of the Year this year, it's going to be based on what he's done in the month of August going into September alone. Tony Khan is not Booker of the Year. WWE has put their best foot forward because AEW has brought them to that. You should be happy for that. You should be proud of AEW being able to do that. So look at it in a positive way. You don't give a fuck what WWE is doing because you're going to be watching All Out. You don't give a fuck what's happening on WrestlePalooza because you've already made a determination that you're watching All Out. But you can live happy knowing that AEW has driven WWE to put on their best product when they haven't put on their best product up until this very point. So you should be happy about that. And on the flip side, WWE, I hope, is going to bring out Tony Khan's best. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm loading that show up. Story needs to be a thing. I don't know how we're going to get there in 3 weeks, because what we got last week was fucking atrocious. But if I'm Tony Khan, I'm going into that show putting my best foot forward. How do I counter AJ Lee? I'm doing the women's war games. I'm doing women's blood and guts at All Out. How do you counter AJ Lee? He just can't sit idly by and twiddle his fucking thumbs. He can't be calling Dave Meltzer asking for fucking help and some advice. Bro, war games, blood and guts. It's right there staring you in the face. How do you counter AJ Lee? War games, which is typical of AEW. How do you counter someone like AJ Lee coming back after 10 plus years? Blood and guts, blood and gore, violence. It's the only thing they know how to. It's the only thing they know how to do. On top of that, Darby Allin and Jon Moxley will probably fucking end up murdering each other. That's how they're going to steal a headline. They're not going to steal a headline with a return or a reunion of Edge and Christian or this or that. They're going to steal a headline with something crazy happening. You're going to see a stunt so death-defying that AEW is going to try and steal a headline from everything that WWE has done to stack the deck against All Out. Nobody but AJ Lee fits this bill. And with the segment that aired following this, when CM Punk asked where SmackDown is, where's SmackDown? Chicago. Tremendous. And he walks away. Bro, if AJ Lee isn't on Friday SmackDown, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I really don't. And I wouldn't be surprised that show sells itself out just based off this rumor and innuendo, just like it did for Punk at AEW Rampage at the United Center. This segment was great. Becky being added to the Vision is great. I'm looking forward to how this all plays out. And the Vision feels more important now in the last 48 hours than they have in the last 8 months. Or 6 months, whatever, however long they've been together, since WrestleMania. Great stuff. Rusev cut a backstage vignette. Talked about his match with Sheamus at Clash in Paris. He says they are former friends who took each other to the limits. He says he's an example for kids all over the world. He said the world tells you to be kind, but he's telling everyone to be one of a kind. He said Sheamus said he brought his Irish body, but his French spirit showed up. He said maybe they can be friends again now that you know your place beneath my feet. He said he was scary when he was held back, but now he is devastating that he is now free. I don't know what's next for Rusev. I've been pitching him and Sheamus as a tag team. I don't know where Ilya Dragunov is, but if I'm WWE, I'm getting Dragunov involved and I'm putting him in a fucking feud with Rusev. You really want to get fucking shit going? Ilya Dragunov versus Rusev in the middle of the pack on Monday Night Raw. That's going to be something. Again, I like the tag team idea of Rusev and Sheamus together. I don't know if they're actually going in that direction, but if Ilya Dragunov's coming back and he wants to feud with somebody just on the same wavelength as him, Rusev is the right guy for it. Main event. Jey Uso and LA Knight. Tag team match here against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. None of this really mattered, honestly. This was a fine TV main event. I personally, and I know a lot of people are, we are very fatigued over the sameness of these main events. It's always a mixture of the Vision or the baby faces here and who they're feuding with. It's really nothing exciting at all. So this got made into a main event from the opening segment. Jey starts the match with Bronson Reed. Punches away at Bronson Reed. Knight comes in. Some double team strikes here on Bronson Reed alongside Jey. Reed, he comes in with a big headbutt to LA Knight before Bron Breakker tags himself in. LA Knight, he escaped a breaker suplex, hits a neck breaker as he floated over. Jey tagged in, running hip attack on Bron Breakker in the corner. Reed, he starts attacking Jey from the apron in the back, which allowed Breakker to take advantage with a throw of Jey to the outside, and we go into a commercial break. We come back with Breakker. He's blocking Jey from making a tag to LA Knight by forcing him into their portion of the ring. Uso reversed a Reed back suplex, avoided a clothesline, and he got the hot tag to LA Knight. So LA Knight's in. He dropped Reed with a big jumping neck breaker, followed by his elbow from the top rope, which always looks beautiful. Breakker caused a distraction on LA Knight, which allowed Bronson Reed to take advantage. Breakker pulled Knight to the outside. He threw him into the steel steps before he threw him back into the ring. Reed continued on LA Knight with some offense. Big senton by Bronson. Breakker comes back into the match. He hits a big suplex on LA Knight. Breakker then trapped LA Knight in a chin lock and slowed the match down for a little bit. Couldn't hold on to it. LA Knight tried to reach for a tag on Jey. Breakker threw him halfway across the ring in his direction with a German suplex. After a little bit of struggle, Uso finally got the hot tag. He avoided a senton from Reed. So we got Jey Uso here. He's really firing up. He delivered a spear on Bron Breakker. Jey and LA Knight join forces to take out Reed with a big double team clothesline to the outside. Jey hits a suicide dive on Bronson outside. Knight dropped Breakker with a BFT. Uso splash from Jey Uso looked to be enough, but Reed made sure it was not the end as he dragged him out of the ring to break the count. And you saw that something was going to happen because Jey Uso spread his legs out closer to the ring apron, which means that someone was going to pull him out of the count. So Reed took Knight out by throwing him into the ring post. In the ring, Jey looked to have the match won with the Uso splash on Bronson Reed, but Breakker, who was the legal man, took him out with a spear, and the Vision win here over Jey Uso and LA Knight. Vision laid out Jey and LA Knight as Jimmy ran down with a steel chair to scare off Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Jimmy checked up on his brother, and you saw Jey Uso mouth off to him as the microphones picked it up. I need you. I need you. I can't do this by myself. So it looks like we're getting the Usos back together. And I'm sure Jimmy and Jey will be a focus as we head into War Games in November at Survivor Series. It looks like the Usos will be a part of that babyface team, at least making up 2 of the 5 spots against the Vision. We don't know what's going to happen in there with the Vision, as they only have 3 right now. Who we will get added to the group at this point, nobody knows. But the Usos are being teased to get back together. The Vision in the main event, man, I'm over it. There's just this sameness to it. There's this boring feeling around. It's the same match every week. And it's mostly a DQ or an interference or no contest or this or that. I'm just over it. How many times have we seen a collective of babyfaces go up against the team of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed? Or Bron Breakker in the main event challenging one of the babyfaces? Or Bronson Reed in the main event against one of the babyfaces? Or Seth Rollins teaming up with his boys in a 6-man tag team match? I'm over it. Getting the Usos back together right now, I don't know how many people are excited about it, but I think it's the best thing for both of them right now. Jey, there's nowhere for him to go. Teaming with LA Knight or teaming with Punk or fighting alone, there's, again, this sameness to it. There's not that exciting feeling about it. I feel like he's being held back. He's not going to be in the world title picture again. Been there, done that. There's no better time to get the Usos back together and have Jimmy join him than now. Jey ain't doing anything. Jimmy ain't doing anything. God, I couldn't wait for him to get away from that fucking bloodline vortex over on SmackDown. He's now back with his brother where he belongs. And this sets up some nice tag team matches along the way. Maybe they go after the tag team titles. Maybe they go and find a big role in War Games. It's needed, bro. Maybe we get the Usos versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at WrestlePalooza. Their first match back together. I know it's not the same as Edge and Christian, but seeing the Usos back together after so long, happening on the same show as Edge and Christian, I wouldn't be shocked if Triple H is thinking along those same wavelengths. Usos back together, WrestlePalooza against Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. I could see it happen. Again, just adding to the great card that will potentially be WrestlePalooza on September 20th. I thought this was a good Raw. It was average, but better than normal. I think they came out of Clash in Paris building very nicely to what we may be getting at WrestlePalooza. I thought the CM Punk Becky Lynch face-to-face confrontation was fucking great. We got some really good wrestling between Finn Balor and Dragon Lee. Dominik Mysterio and AJ Styles was a solid TV match. This wasn't a bad show at all. It's just found its formula for being pretty basic. There's really nothing shocking. There's nothing that's going to make you fucking, excited. Like, I want some unpredictability. I mean, the Becky Lynch and CM Punk promo was really good stuff. I enjoyed that. I put my phone down. I listened to every word, hanging on every word that both of those people said. But Monday Night Raw is just in this safe zone. There's nothing overly exciting about it. But we'll see what happens next week, man. WWE's back in the States. We'll be back to normal time. And they are shaping up to have WrestlePalooza be a fucking absolute banger. And I mean banger of a show. Thank you guys very much for all of your support, man. We have 2,500 people in here on a Monday night. I appreciate you guys very, very much. If you guys want to get in and support what I do here on Off the Script, Super Chats are open. Get them on in. I would love if you guys can do that for me. Best way to support the show. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go and check out all the content on the channel. There's plenty of it. And more to come this week. We got some videos coming this week. We got Tuesday Night Titans. Tomorrow night, me and the Solid Monster, episode 110. We'll go over all this and more tomorrow on TNT, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Jesse and I will be back live Wednesday with the Dynamite Post Show right here on Off the Script. Jesse was live again, back after a 1-week suspension. He's back to killing the game, man. So go and hit the subscribe button over on his channel. He's back to live streaming his reactions, and videos will commence as well. So go and support him over there. Tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. All you guys got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling, and you're going to get Blue Chew for free for 1 month when you use our unique link and promo code. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable tablet and a fraction of the cost. You guys can take them anytime, day or night. Be ready whenever that opportunity arises. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. You're going to sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their online medical providers, and once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. No questions asked. There's no waiting in line at the pharmacy. There's no waiting in the waiting room at the doctor's office. No awkward conversations, because those suck. Blue Chew is made right here in the USA, prepared and shipped right to you very discreetly. So if you guys can benefit from that extra confidence where it matters most, like CM Punk is confident, he's got a good backup plan going into Chicago on Friday night. Just like that, Blue Chew is going to do wonders for you. So sign up at BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. Make sure you guys sign up, get your sample for free. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get into these super chats, and we'll get the hell out of here. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD and OTS, will we see AJ Lee? Let's go. Yeah. Michael Krause, we will see AJ Lee, bro. Lucas with a $9.99. I want to say Raw was uneventful, and while some of it was, the second hour was actually decent, and we had a decent ending. So was this a bad show? In my opinion, no. No, it wasn't a bad show. They just have settled into this safe area, you know? It's very safe. They got their own thing, they got their own formula, their own methods. I need a little chaos. Some organized chaos in that very formulaic 2.5-hour program, man, would go a long way. Hardcore Kevin with the $2 super chat. Yo, JD, what's your top 3 cookies? Oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip, and shortbread. Top 4. I'm going to go top 4, man. Gingerbread as well. Love gingerbread. Tony Brown with the 39 months. Young JD, you definitely should be a writer for WWE or AEW. You would have my vote. And no dirty talk tonight, except I'd butter Roxanne's buns. Oh, man. Tony Brown, you're fucking crazy, bro. We love you, man. Thank you. 39 months for Tony Brown, man. Oh, man. Dave Scheffler with a 10. I just wanted to say to you, you do a great job, JD. JD and WWE missed a perfect opportunity in France to have AJ Styles beat Dominik and bring AJ Lee back. My first super chat, and I listened to all of your streams. Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, brother. Hopefully my explanation as to why AJ Styles didn't win the IC title resonated with you, man, and it came off a little logical. I don't think they gave AJ Styles the title because Dominik is wrestling Vikingo in 2 weeks, and they want him looking strong going into that. He'll win that title and then maybe drop the title to AJ Styles, the IC title. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. If it's Rhea and Punk on Friday, Rhea will be booed out of the building. We don't play in Chi-Town. Number 312. Yeah, no, bro. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's gotta be, man. It can't be Rhea. It cannot be Rhea. Gorman with a $5.99. Let's go, JD. Cheers. Well, thank you, brother. Telebo Swayze with a 22 months. If AJ Lee returns on Friday, the reaction is going to be unprecedented. It's going to shake the earth. Plus, Ryan Satin is a complete and sad little chump. Fuck Ryan Satin. I saw what he said. Hot take, I think AJ Lee is overrated. Go get a fucking haircut, you fucking geek. And go stalk some porn stars at fucking Whole Foods, you fucking half-witted retard. Ryan Satin. Fuck out of here. What a ridiculous clown. Who gives a shit what he says about pro? Didn't he get out of the pro wrestling business? Didn't he close up shop? Huh? Who cares what he has to say? He became an AEW apologist after the fucking after he closed his shop down, his website. Gives a shit. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. JD, Becky's heel run this year thus far has been the best work of her career, in my opinion. She just turned it up to 11 tonight with that promo. Amazing. I agree. I think Becky is doing some really, really great work right now. Michelle with a 2. Seth Punk mirroring Drew Punk makes for great TV. You add a little personal spin to it. It's great. Zeno with a 10. JD, guess what? At 24 years old, I bought my first car. I got a 2019 Mustang GT. I must say, being a truck driver for over 2 years has truly changed my life for the better. OTS for life. Brother, thank you so very much, man. I got to take my Mustang into the shop tomorrow, man. I'm sitting at the fucking Mustang, not the Dark Horse, the old one, the gray one, sitting in my driveway with a flat back tire, man. How I'm going to get this motherfucker to the Ford dealership that's 10 minutes away, I don't know, but wish me luck tomorrow. Hopefully they can fix it. This is a last-minute deal. I had to make an online appointment. I don't even know if they have the fucking tire I need in the shop. How it got it flat, I don't fucking know. Boss Top with a $4.99. Seth has been the worst opponent Punk has had since he returned and has been dragging for 2 years. Guess Seth needs Becky to save the feud. I don't really mind Seth and Punk. You see where they're going with it. It's more likely that Punk is taking the title off Rollins than it is Sami Zayn. Now I'm gonna try and do it without the toe. Jay Everington with a 5. When I saw how small and thin Punk's masked attacker was at Clash of the Castle, I thought it was Jack Perry. Hashtag cry me a river. Nah. WWE would never bring in Jack Perry. Punk would never allow it. Fuck him. Michelle with a 2. Does Raw have too many heels and not enough faces? We need a fresher main event scene. I'll tell you that right now. I'm trying to run the raid this week, Triple M. Yes. Yes, sir. Bro, I don't know if I should just wait till the fucking changes to old man. I can't grind on this fucking game, man. What am I grinding for? I gotta do 20 fire team activities to get one fucking prime drop. What am I looking for? Josh Carlos with the $1.99. You see the recent Alter Bridge teases on socials. Yeah, Miles is comfortable in his mother's basement. I don't know what that means, man. Hopefully that first single is a fucking banger. The last album, their first single was Pawns and Kings, the title track, and that was fucking great. So hopefully more of the same, man. We need a nice 6-7 minute fucking absolute monster of a single. So hopefully they are thinking the same thing. So nice with the $2 super chat. I'm worried about Kairi Sane. Why? She's on TV. Josh Carlos with the 199. Miles Kennedy solo stuff versus Tremonti solo stuff. Tremonti. Sean Garner with the 2. Does AJ Lee return on SmackDown this Friday? Certainly looks like it. Illuminati, $2 super chat. JD, when do you bring AJ Lee back? Friday in Chicago. Hollywood guy with a 5. Hologram versus evil hologram. Counters AJ Lee. Book it. You guys see that hologram was cloned? We have an evil hologram now on Saturday nights. Tearing the world down with Barn Burner Creative over there on Collision. As if one hologram wasn't enough. Now we got 2. Grant with an $8 super chat. It's my 31st birthday, JD. I've been watching since 2016 and the Get Off My TV days. Always been number 1 to me, bro. Thank you, brother. Happy birthday. I should do some more Get Off My TV, man. Who's Get Off My TV nowadays, huh? Maybe we should bring that line back. Who's Get Off My TV? Anybody in AEW Get Off My TV? We can have more fun with them over there. Moxley, huh? Mercedes? Imagine I make a Get Off My TV Mercedes line, bro. Happy birthday, Grant. Appreciate you, brother. What the fuck are you drinking tonight is what I want to know. Omega Kong with a $10 super chat. Punk, where's SmackDown on Friday? Adam Pearce says Chicago. Punk says tremendous. Tremendous. Punk legit said it. AJ on Friday, or I'm breaking my TV and sending WWE the bill. Bro, they're all about moments, this fucking company, right? Listen, man, I should absolutely do... I got to figure something out, man. I got to figure something out. Get off my TV line. FTR, find the remote. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. I could have missed these French crowds. They were fun. They were fucking great, man. WWE's got to come back here every single year, man. Once a year. Is that what he said? Did he say tremendous? Tremendous. Tremendous. I didn't hear him say that. And Furious Nation with the 499. What's up, JD? Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Love that Becky Punk promo. And yes, screw Ryan Satin regarding his comments about AJ Lee. Guy quit when WWE left Fox. Fuck him. Who follows Ryan Satin for pro wrestling? Nobody. I don't understand it. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, thank you for a great Monday night stream, man. It's almost as if the show went on normally. 2,500 in here on this Monday night. Grant with a 2. He says he's drinking Southern Comfort on the rocks. Oh, yeah. Gotta love it, man. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go and check out all the other content on the channel, including last night's Clash in Paris post show. And tomorrow night, the Solid Monster and I will be live for episode 110 of Tuesday Night Titans. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think AJ Lee's going to be on Friday Night SmackDown. And hit that subscribe button down below. And please make sure that bell is turned on with all notifications. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night live for Tuesday Night Titans right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.